I'm State Representative Justin J. Pearson from Memphis, Tennessee in Shelby County, representing District 86. I'm here today to advocate for the end of fossil fuels and make sure the voices of our community that have been impacted the most by fossil fuels and by the effects of climate change are heard. Right now is a critical time for our country and also our planet to do everything that we can to prevent the expansion of fossil fuels, from fracked gas to pipelines to all carbon capture and things like that we know are going to be devastating for our community.
It has made it much more difficult for us to become the best people that God intends for us to be, these institutions. But there are always people who fight against that status quo. That's us! And when we fight, we win!
Just 1 month ago, an entire town on my home island of Maui was set ablaze by colonizers and corporate polluters. And I should be with my family and community right now, grieving and healing. Under a moral government, the fire would have never spread. The invasive guinea grass introduced by oligarchs centuries ago would have already been replaced by lush, regenerative, native vegetation. Utility lines would have been underground and never fallen in the force of Hurricane Dura, which ignited the flame. Families have already secured energy freedom through rooftop and community solar, subsidized battery storage and electric vehicles, public utility ownership. And of course, the rising, record-breaking, previously unthinkable global temperatures that caused the drought, dryness, and high winds on my island would have stabilized decades ago. So over the past decade and a half, I've come to learn that the only way forward is to build mass people power in every community across the globe by organizing across all movements for justice.
I've got to say, especially after this weekend, especially after hearing these speakers tonight, I am more confident today in our ability to finally take on the fossil fuel industry than I've ever been. Earlier this week, California announced that it is filing a lawsuit against big oil for, and I want to quote the governor and AG here, 50 years of deception, cover-up, and damage that have cost California taxpayers billions of dollars in health and environmental impacts. They are not messing around. California now joins more than 40 other states and municipalities who are suing big oil for climate damages. Fully 25% of Americans now live in a city or a state with a lawsuit against big oil. I say we make that 100%. Look, we've known that for far too long, climate change, we've been told it's just a tragedy of the commons, that it's our fault, that it's human nature, that there's nothing to be done. But we know that climate change isn't just a tragedy. It's a crime. It's a crime. And big oil knew, they lied, and now we have the tools to finally make them pay.
In my community, on streets, just a couple of streets behind me, I have more than 12 petrochemical facilities. We have 3 LNG facilities in Southwest Louisiana. We've just been approved for a new direct air capture hub. And so our community cannot take anymore. We have higher rates of cancer and asthma. We have facilities that are very close to elementary schools. There have been several chemical explosions that have happened all along the Gulf Coast, and we just can't take anymore. We're here fighting for our lives, fighting for our children's lives, fighting for a future, fighting for the chance for our children to be able to raise their children in the communities where they're growing up.
So this kind of organizing takes all of us, because that's the way that we're supposed to be as civil society. And we called ourselves, others called us water protectors and land defenders, until the real reality sinks in that we're not protecting nature, that we humans, we are nature protecting ourselves at a time like this.